Hello, in this video, I'm gonna show you how you guys get cheated on your commercial trucking insurance. Uh, my name is Milan. I have insurance agency. We specialize in for hire trucking, and I just see that on a daily basis with the people and the potential customers we speak to. So I'll show you how easy it is for an agent to manipulate the quote they're giving you and the numbers, and what to look for. This way you can protect yourself and your business. A lot of times the people just say it's like Progressive or Geico or Berkshire, whatever. They are the ones that mess them up. Really, that's not the case. Most of the times, if not all the times, it's usually incompetence of the agent, or um, it's plainly somebody just trying to sell you something that doesn't exist. So as you can see my screen, I'll show you like let's say Progressive, the most popular one that people uh, go with for a new venture. Um, so as you know, you go to truck insurance. Right here, you can see it. Let's say you're in somewhere like in Georgia, for example, right? You type in just like a random zip code, click get a quote, and the first thing is gonna ask you here where a lot of people get messed up. And sometimes you get even messed up when you call the 1-800 number, not because they want to mess it up for you. You just gotta understand, any of these companies, they are big companies. They are people that are um, being trained, and sometimes they get a good training, sometimes they don't. And just like any human being, they are making unintentional errors. But just so you see how the system works, besides the obvious thing, what is the effective date? Let's say it's today, 3/19/2025. You don't have a commercial policy with Progressive. You select no. um, the very next question, it's gonna ask you whether you do it or an agent does it for you. It's whether or not you have a USDOT number. If you select yes to this question, uh, or not yet, but you get it in the next 60 days, the price will be very different than if you select no. And I'll show you just a quick example. So let's say I select no here. We say you're a LLC. And then let's say your company is called New Trucking Ventures, right? LLC. And you're a commercial trucker, right? So commercial trucker. I mean that's you would normally do your sorry, you would normally do your quote, and that's how an agent would do it for you. It's the system. It's lagging a little bit, but we'll get through it. I mean, it's going to take us only a couple of minutes, pretty quick, as long as this loads here. Okay, type of tracker. Um, Most of the people are, just start with general freight. Some people do auto hauling, other people do reefers, but let's say general freight. Okay, and then you know your name is, let's say, John Smith, right? And you're at here is going to ask you whether or not you're a driver on the policy or not. And let's say you're at 22 uh, Main Street in, I don't know, let's see, South 22 South Main Street, Pennsylvania, right? It doesn't really matter. And your date of birth, it's 5/1/20, I mean, not 20, but let's say 1991. Okay. pretty standard, right? Mm, And then you're gonna get to the next page here. It's gonna ask you for a phone number. Just make up something just so I can get to the numbers. Okay, I apologize about that. We're in working hours, so people are calling. Okay, and the system wants me to give it a little bit more reasonable number. Okay, we go to the next page. Let's say you have a box truck or a semi truck. I mean, it doesn't really matter in this case, and the purpose here is to show you how a quote is done and how it's done correctly and how it gets manipulated. So let's say a box truck. You have a box truck and it's 2018 Freightliner M2. Pretty popular, pretty um, normal, right? If you wanna do interstate, you have to do at least 500 miles. If you do more than 48 states, it's gonna be more than 500 miles. But that's beyond the point right now. I mean, box truck is gonna be between 19.5 and 26,000 pounds. That's pretty standard 20 um, box truck. So okay, so we click continue, continue. We'll just say that the same person is also the driver, John Smith. Okay. Here is going to ask you whether or not you have prior insurance. If you do, you're going to get additional discount. If you don't, then you know you won't get that discount. Here, federal filings. If you're going to do interstate, the BX90 needs to be okay at Gmail. We just gotta enter something here so I can get to the rates. Um, yeah, at gmail.com. Okay, then we move forward. Because all the videos I see out there, they're like, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. But at the end of the day, it's when it comes to insurance, you need a policy that's put together correctly for you. And yes, here it would come a big red verbiage that you normally would need a DOT, but if you just ignore that and move forward, you can still finish it up. There is nothing to tell you that you cannot do it without a USDOT. Um, it's being stuck up. Maybe I'll just put no for now, just so I can continue. Okay, and there you go. Uh, First of all, when you do it like through the website, I mean directly with Progressive, it gives you like a 6 months price, which is kind of deceiving, right? Because you're thinking, oh, that's a good price, but it's only for 6 months, all right? So if I was to go to there and if I send you that quote, you'll be like, oh, I got like a $15,000 quote. No, you got a $15,000 quote for a 6 months policy. The 12 months, which is kind of the standard for the industry, as you see, it's already at 31,000. Okay, so now you see if I go back here, right, and now I can basically I mean, here it doesn't give me the option, but if I'm, if I'm in my platform, my agent platform, I can print that quote and send it to you. Obviously, that's not a comparative number. There are many reasons for that, but um, I can send it to you, be like, oh, okay, like there we go, he gave me a good number, but then you don't realize that I haven't included the DOT in it. So if I go back here and I select not yet, but I'll have a DOT in 60 days, and I go back to the rate, and the funny thing is you have to go through it like that because usually system doesn't pick it up otherwise. Sometimes that's a, you see how the rate bumped up like by $7,000. So what happens is you get that low rate, you don't even realize your DOT is not in there. Then you start your policy, and now they tell you that after underwriting review and adding your DOT, your price just went up. And at this point, you start like this back and forward. If you bought it through an agent, why my progressive policy went up, and it was one price, but now it's another, and it's so progressive's fault. It's not progressive's fault. It's just somebody gave you a low price to 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 start a policy. I don't understand why people do business like that, but they do it. Just keep your eyes open. In the next video, I'll show you some other things that, uh, whether it's intentional or non-intentional, are being done on daily basis, and I see them that are just getting you those rates that you think it's great, but in the end of the day, you're just getting something that's not it's not real, and then you pay for it, and then you have the bitter taste of the whole experience. I'll see you in the next video.